Alrighty, so we have to, guess we have to go paint the second mural. I guess we want to figure out more about the early, like, history of the town or whatever. Talk to more people. Where did they, Where else did we? Who are we looking for? He told us to talk to someone. Oh, I guess Werner, right? There he is. Hello, Magdalene. Can I help you? Hello, Dr. Stolz. I have a book here. I can't read it very well. I was wondering if you could help me translate it. If you bring it after Christmas, I might be able to help. I have too much to do right now. I can't spare that much time. Oh, I understand. Sorry, Magdalene. Until later. Until then. Talk to Baltus, I guess. Baltus, isn't it? Yeah, here he is. Hello, Baltus. Do you have a moment? Only one, I'm afraid. What can I do for you? I came across a book about the history of Tassing, and I was hoping you could help me read it. Oh no, not today. I'm far too busy for that at the moment. Nazi and I have our hands full preparing for the Christmas ale, you see. Of course, sorry to bother you. Not at all. Apologies, I couldn't be of more help. Ciao, Magdalene. Ciao, Ignazio. Come stai? Bene, bene. The winter is approaching quickly, no? What is it that you say here, perked up pinching at your nose? You've caught on to our customs quickly? Yes. Baltus is a good teacher. He has explained many of your funny Bavarian sayings to me. I must admit they are rather charming, even if the language is a bit rough to my tongue. Will you be staying in Tassing long enough to learn more of our funny sayings? I should return to Genoa soon, but Baltus and I have some business to conduct. It has taken longer than I anticipated to complete. His accounts are complex. I may be forced to remain a few more weeks. Dio, who knows? I pray that you'll be able to return home before winter sets in. Thank you, Magdalene. I only wish to return to Genoa before a heavy snowfall. Otherwise, my journey will take twice as long. I'll let you get back to work then. Grazie, Magdalene. Until later. Alrighty. Sam Hunt Dam says, never heard of this game before. How are you liking it? It's pretty good. This is Obsidian's a point-and-click adventure game that they put out last year. It was relatively well received. It's written by Josh Sawyer. Same people who did like KOTOR 2 and stuff like that. So it has that general quality of writing. It's a pretty fun, interesting mystery. It's a really interesting game. What do the boys have to say? Hey, Magdalene, come to admire a well-chiseled craftsman at his best. Suppose that means no. Alright, you've made your point. It really and truly means no. I'd roll the eyes even more, but I fear I'd accidentally damage them. Can't have you damaging those beautiful eyes, then. Clever boy, but not good enough. I'll take that as a Pyrrhic victory, at least. You come to see the repairs I've been doing, then. To tell the truth, it's not going as well as I'd hoped. What seems to be the issue? I assumed I'd hit a snag, either when it came to the stone or the tools, or my lack of artistic skill. But it's more than that. It's like in my head. Can't see the right way. Besides, my dad wants me to help out on the farm more. I want to be there, but... Grandpa taught me everything about the craft. He really wanted me to succeed, and I do enjoy the work. It's as if I can talk to the stone, you know. Not literally, but I can see how lines of tension flow through the rock. I understand how to form one thing from the other, how to create, make something that lasts. Grandma even offered to sponsor an apprenticeship under a master stonemason. Dad will support me either way, but I still feel like I'm being pulled both directions at once, you know? Let's see... You can support your family, and it makes you happy. It's the right choice. When you say that, it sounds the most reasonable way, doesn't it? I still can't get away from the doubts. No one can fully escape their doubts, but don't let that stop you. God, I wish I had your confidence and fortitude. Did you learn all that from Klaus? Christ, this is hard. I don't know what to do. I think you should take the apprenticeship. It's better than staying in Tassing, right? I don't know. I like it here. I have enough experience from Grandpa to keep going. Besides, if I'm gone, there will be no one to look after the town stone. The church's foundation is in serious condition. Who's to say there won't be another flood come spring? No, I think I should stay. I'll have to tell Grandma I've made up my mind soon. Well, thanks for listening to me, Magdalene. That's what friends are for, right? Well, work beckons. Father Thomas asked me to reinforce the walls of the church. To be honest, I'd like to reuse stones from the ruins of the abbey, but Father Thomas forbids it, says it's unseemly. It's just quality stone going to waste. I don't get it. He's being meek, as he always is. I don't understand Father Thomas sometimes. Alright, stay well. Until later, Magdalene. Until then, Kraft. I am irritated. I feel like I would have been able to convince him, but I only got one dialogue option where it was like, you can't convince him, and nothing that you say is nice. It's all mean. Just interesting. Ooh. Where do I want to go? Is there anyone in here? Agnes. Or no, Gret. Magdalene, darling. Good morning, Gret. Smells heavenly in here. Oh, ha ha ha. I've just finished rolling out some raisin bread. I thought that Andreas and Ulrich could use a treat today. Oh yeah, the little kid. Any special occasion? Oh, not really. I didn't want the raisins to go to waste. Besides, I'd like to drop in on Anna and see my grandchildren. I'm more blessed than I ever imagined I would be. Paul and Anna make such a lovely pair. Ulrich wouldn't believe his eyes if he saw us now. Wish he could see his grandchildren. I'm sorry that his sacrifice was what was needed to bring your families together. As am I, Magda. You know, I was angry when Anna first took a liking to young Paul. He was always a quiet boy, but I was afraid he'd turn out like his father. Well, I needn't have worried. Paul is a good man and a good father. He's built this town back up from what it was. It's so good to see Elsa so social now, too. She's come out of her shell. Yes, she's been asking me for recommendations for the ladies' reading circle. How wonderful. You are the one to ask for such a list. I would join her for the group myself, but I'm just too busy with the bakery. But I don't mind that. It keeps me busy, and I get to see everyone in town when I deliver them. Oh, I've been chatting too long. My does need tending. Please excuse me, Magdalene. Of course, Gret. Until later. My does need tending. Alrighty. Let's just go, I guess. Who do we want to talk to, actually? Let's look at this. Dad also suggested I talk to Elsa up at the mill. Okay. Similarly, where it says, I'd be careful with that. Things didn't turn out well for the last person they recommended books in Tassing. It's funny, but it's true. I don't need to talk to Paul or Andreas. But I should talk to Elsa. Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill? Dad suggested I talk about your family for the mural. He said your sister used to tell him about your family history. Your family name was Caviezel, wasn't it? Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbors had forgotten us. I'm not surprised your father remembers the Caviezels. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I am the last of us now. Caviezel doesn't sound like a local name. Why wouldn't it be? I'm Bavarian. It is my name, so it is a Bavarian name. No one else in town has a name like that. And shouldn't you be Caviezelin? I've always been called Caviezel, as were my mother's and my sister and my mother, and her mother before her. My grandfather told me the Caviezels have lived in this area for hundreds of years. Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine time so long ago. Were they Romans? No, no, the Caviezel's were part of the old people, the original Bavarian people. They helped to resettle Tassing after the Romans left. Built their new home right on the spot where they'd been living when the Romans arrived. That's just a story. How do you know any of it's true? I heard it from my family. Do you think they would lie? I didn't mean that. No, I think you did, but it's all right. However true it may or may not be doesn't matter, Magda. It matters that I believe it and that it connects me to my ancestors. When I think of the ancient Caviezel's driven from their land, only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? I think so. It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mom. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I can almost recall it. Yes, it doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favorite songs to Ulrika, I might not know all the words anymore, but that's all right. Just as I may not know exactly how the Caviezel's resettled Tassing. What matters is that I feel close to her and them, even though they are so far from me now. What stories are for, Magda? Now go on, you've got a mural to complete. Thank you, Elsa, you've given me much to consider. God bless you, Magdalene, dear. Alright, well that really actually wasn't that helpful. That just was not helpful. Let's see what the church people are doing. Ugh, Father Thomas. God bless you, Magdalene. And God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment? Of course. What can I help you with? I wanted to ask you about Tassing saints. I'd like to represent them in the Rathas. I'm thrilled to hear it. The saints will make a wonderful centerpiece for the murals. Let's make a deal. I listen rapturously as you tell me about the saints, and you don't press me about putting them in the mural. Very well. But you know there is one saint you're overlooking. Why, the Blessed Virgin, of course, Mary. Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago. Virgin Mary appeared in Tassing. Why? Yes, she appeared to give a message. Centuries ago, a farmer in the fields behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Freising that she had appeared. The peasant traveled down to Freising, but the bishop would not see or hear him. It seems like a reasonable response, all things considered. Perhaps, but blessed are those who believe but have not seen. But sadly, the bishop did not believe. The peasant returned to Tassing and had another vision in the field. The Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Freising. The bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but he could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. He met with the peasant, who told him of the 2 apparitions he'd seen here in Tassing. The bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here to Tassing. And when the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. She told the father that the town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town. And so the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. People of Tassing have been using it ever since. When was the painting made? I'm not sure, maybe 100 years ago, maybe 300. And of course I couldn't tell you the artist, unfortunately. But it's been here as long as anyone can remember. Thank you for the story, Father Thomas. You're most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you in your work. God bless you, Father Thomas. I hate that guy. I don't think anything he says is meaningful. I think he literally is just a mouthpiece for the church. I think that's all he is. I think he's trying to rewrite history. It's at least what it seems like. I don't really need to talk to them. I think the next step was the convent, right? Let's go up there. Let's go to the convent, see what's going on. I should talk to Sister Gertrude, since she was a Benedictine nun at Kiersau before the poor Clares arrived. You'd be able to tell me all about the convent's history for the mural. that her? Is this Gertrude? Sure is. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favor to ask of you. Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. I have a book, the Historia Tassiae, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. That's all right, sister. I'll have to find another way. There's one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Ratas mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough gall stored away. Oh, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kiersau, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and the history of Tassing saints to the Rathaus mural. I wrote to Reverend Matthew, since he lived at the Abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand. Brother Matthew became a reverend, didn't he? He was always suited for such a role. But I don't suppose that's what you came out the hill for? You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes, I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. The poor Clares don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Their Franziska wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. Well, that makes my job difficult. Let me finish, Magdalene Druckerin. However, Mother Franziska always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she might discover while contemplating the holy life, I have always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion. Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Franziska now? Yes, let's go. Mother Franziska, I'd like to introduce you to Magdalene Druckerin. The printer's daughter. Yes. God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition, and we pray for his recovery daily. I didn't know you'd heard about that. Though the poor Clares are separated from the secular world, we take care to know its goings-on. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and community that provides for us. Now what's this about, Sister Gertrude? You know our holy rules. Why bring Mistress Druckerin to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world and is contemplating the holy life. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Right, yes. I wonder that you've never come up to the Abbey before, Mistress Druckerin. God is calling you to the convent. I'm more than willing to help you fulfill that divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the poor Clares? I had a holy vision. Saint Sasha told me I was destined for higher things. Mistress Magdalene, would you describe this vision for me? Receiving a message from God is a grave matter. I was sitting under the oak tree by the shrine, and Sasha appeared to me. She told me that the mural is incomplete, and in order to finish it in a godly way, I need to learn more about Kiersau. You may not have had a vision, but a particularly vivid dream. Either way, the Rathas mural, if it must be completed, ought to represent the saints' legends. Did Sasha say anything else? Only that I pay homage to her, and that I ask someone for more insight. I came straight to the convent. You were right to do so. There are many spirits who haunt dreams, and not all of them are from the Lord. I suggest you ask Father Thomas about this vision. He has the education to best aid you there. I'll do that. Thank you, Mother. While I can't speak to the vision itself, I'm happy to tell you about the poor Clares. Sam Hot Damn says, you're pretty good at streaming reading heavy games. Thank you. It's exhausting. I'm so tired. But we're close to the end, I think. Our small convent used to be part of larger Kiersau double monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. However, the poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe that it is not ours to produce and live solely in the alms of the community of Tassing as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the church. We believe that the Lord calls us into a life of poverty and service. Does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around and get a feel for the place. Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a laywoman bothering the sisters from their duties or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Suzanne to show you our duties. Please take your time. When you have finished, please come find me and we will discuss your decision to join. Finally, I thought she'd never finish. What? Truthfully, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the outhouse. Time to start exploring. You can either come or not, it's up to you. But Mother Francisca said... She said that as long as I'm with you, it's fine to look around. You're really going to get us both in trouble. No, I always follow Mother Francisca's orders. The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the aquarium, the chapter house, the yard, the old workshop. No one uses that old shed anymore. I'll leave it to you to decide where to go first. That's kind of fun. Interesting. Okay, so I guess we have our ability to walk around. Margaret. I don't think I should talk to some of these people. Convent kitchen. This is the kitchen. There's not anything that interesting here. Sister Marie and Sister Isabeau take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed. Okay. Is there anything cool in here? Anything neat? Bless you, child. Are you delivering something? I'm considering joining the convent, so Mother Francisca graciously allowed me to visit with you. Hallelujah. Glory and praise be to God. You've brought such joy to me on this day, child. I haven't actually joined yet, sister. Do you have a strong stomach? Perhaps you can help Sister Isabeau and me in the kitchens. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to butcher the animals. Sister Isabeau has graciously taken on that task for me. We need sustenance, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong according to the rule of St. Francis. I thought we already read the St. Francis one. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals. The kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything from the convent's founding days? No more than the structure itself, I'm afraid. Cookware needs replacing over the years. Though some nights a ghost appears to me by the cook fire, lost spirit trapped between heaven and hell. Mr. Marie, not this again, not to Magdalene, please. A trick of the light. Moonlight must have caught in the smoke from the fire, and you thought you saw an apparition. Upon my vows, I swear I saw a figure rise through the ground at the vigils. I was so frightened, I fell prostrate and prayed to the Lord to save me. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between the world and the spiritual world are the weakest. We may be the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath this foundation centuries before. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground. I really think it must have been something else, sister. It breaks my heart to think the spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond heaven's reach. Why don't we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Marie too upset. Of course. God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. All right, well, that was something else. I don't think we really got much out of that. It's colder today. I think there's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built into the monastery. Oh, God bless you, Sister Benedicta. Sister Sudan, bless you. Oh, this ice is hard. Do I recognize you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Yes, you have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Mother Franziska allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Burden, more like. I have to run around everywhere gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent anyway? Snooping. Oh, don't let me get in the way then. What an adventure. Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Oh yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home and I don't have to share my bed with siblings anymore. I'd like to help the older sisters and I don't mind the chores except when it's cold like this. One more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? Ghosts? No. Everything's been normal recently. I haven't noticed anything odd. This is about Sister Marie's ghost. I think it's Mauritius myself. Oh no. Who? Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Franziska this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. Christian refugees? Yeah, the book said they were fleeing Roman persecution. Maybe under Nero? I don't remember. Nero, a Roman emperor known for cruelty and persecution of Christians and Jews, as well as his disinterest in the Roman people. He famously fiddled as he watched a fire ravage Rome. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius, trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about the tower being turned into an abbey, could he? What did you do with this book, Sister? Oh, well, I had it with me in the kitchen today, and I accidentally laid the fire poker on it. Oh my god, it must be completely destroyed. I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene. That's alright. That book probably would have gone unread otherwise. I'm glad you were enjoying it. Besides, the story gives me ideas for the Ratus mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, Sister. I won't tell Mother Franziska. God bless you. Thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. Alright, so we learned a little bit more. Ooh, an art studio in the convent. The workshop is covered in dust. Yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. They used to make badges for art and pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. It looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. We can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. Art allows us to find beauty in life. Even Christ the Father, the Father clothed the lilies of the field in beauty. I agree, but that's not the rule of the poor. Clares. Mother Franziska considers art a temptation into hedonism. Mother Franziska doesn't let us come in here unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing. Paint pots too. I wouldn't be surprised if the twins managed to sneak their way in. Mother Franziska would be livid if she knew folk from Tassing were sneaking around the convent. I don't think they'd be able to get into the workshop without one of us seeing them, though. Good point. The twins aren't artistically minded anyway. In any case, I think it's sad the workshop was left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent even if it's not what you were here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without you, you'd hate it here. Without it, you'd hate it here. Such valuable paint left to dry and crack on the palettes. There's old parchment scrap here. It's different from the others. Oh shit, nice. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margin. The Mithraeum of Tassing has been destroyed by a flood. Mithraeum? That's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. Wait, this might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the convent by that name. Well, the note says the Mithraeum was destroyed, so I suppose it doesn't matter much now. That's really interesting. These old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who brought them love them too. there anything else in here? That's neat. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's all. Maybe we should go talk to people. I guess we can talk to them. We should talk to the woman in the kitchen as well. Hello, Margaret. It's Magdalene. Oh, Magdalene, God bless you. You don't normally come to the convent alone. What brings you here? Not that you're not welcome, of course. It's always wonderful to have visitors. I had some spare time, and I thought I would say hello. Oh, well, hello. It is good to hear your voice, though. I enjoy it when outsiders visit the convent. You miss the outside world much, sister? Yes, sometimes. I miss the other Benedictine sisters, especially. You'd never admit it, but Sister Lisbeth had the most wonderful voice. I always stood next to her if I could. Why stay then? Why didn't you leave when the Benedictines left Kiersau? Ha! Truth be told, I was too frightened to leave. Kiersau's my home. I didn't like the idea of becoming accustomed to the new place. Learning the convent's ins and outs was hard enough. I never went outside the convent much anyway. I know where everything is here, even if it's changed over the years. Sister Gertrude had already planned to stay, too. The garden always needs tending, and 2 hands make light work. Besides, I can't leave Mousefanger behind. Of course, she truly is the Queen of Kiersau. Has the convent changed much since the poor Clares arrived? Yes, the food is simpler and some of the prayers are different, but all the chores and gardening is the same. Gertrude misses making ink for the scriptorium, but I've enjoyed learning the sisters' new customs. Speaking of which, I should probably return to my chores. Of course, sister, apologies for interrupting. Not at all, Magdalene, God bless you. Okay. Let's talk to the fish sister real quick. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, sister. How goes the cooking? As well as the Lord wills it. My old fingers fumble from time to time, but it is my privilege to prepare supper for the other sisters. That's very noble of you. Just as God gave Paul a thorn in his side, so too did he give me the pains of age to strengthen my faith. Such things are a blessing when compared to the pains of Christ carried upon the cross. But didn't Christ die so we don't have to suffer unnecessarily? In the next life, yes, but even Christ said we would face hardships while we live on this earth. I have chosen to find meaning and devotion to the Lord through my hardship. Thank you for sharing your perspective with me, sister. You are most welcome, child. God bless you. Alrighty, that didn't give us anything. I'm trying to learn about Tassing. Give me history, please. Oh, nice. This is the chapel, where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. It's the oldest part of the convent. And the most drafty. Hello again, Sister Gertrude. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from its earliest days. Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower was a Bergfried long before the structure became a monastery. Simply the word says, Tassing has never been brighter. A freestanding defensive tower not built for permanent habitation. Duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. I don't know why it's marking the Holy Roman Empire as not seen as a note when I've definitely read that note before. These walls have protected Tassing from attacks of spirit and steel for generations. There's Latin here too. God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Lord Kiersau's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of the death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. Well done, Magdalene. Yes, the first lists the abbey's founding date. The Lady Kiersau was actually the one to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminata thought it would be fitting, even if the sisters were not here. Some record of what occurred would remain. Kiersau is unique. A double monastery with 2 saints, 1 male and 1 female, to guard the town and abbey. Fascinating to think that even before the Duke gifted it to the church, the fortification was founded by St. Moritz. The saints have a long history in these lands. Many things once thought lost are truly foundational to how we live. You were right, sister. This mural will be great reference for the Rathaus. And I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene. Okay. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Sister Gertrude. How are you faring? The sisters and I have been praying since Father Thomas informed us of your father's attack. You were incredibly courageous to run to Dr. Stoll so quickly, especially when the attacker could have been about. It's thanks to you, really. Without reading Hildegard's Physica, I wouldn't have realized he was so badly hurt. Well, I'm glad she came in useful, although I wish it were in not such dire circumstances. I lit an extra votive candle in St. Satia's shrine for each of you this morning. He hasn't been able to get up or walk around without my help. Sister Gertrude, I don't know what to do. Oh, Magdalene, I wish I had better words to share with you, child. All we can do is follow Dr. Stoll's expertise and trust in the Lord. I'll see if I have any psyllium left in the convent. If you blend it with broth or warm wine, it would heat his brain and prevent infection. I don't think that's what fiber does. I don't think fiber heats your brain. Sour Coffee says, nuns born after 1530 can't pray. All they know is movable type, buy indulgences, take a vow of silence, be celibate, eat hot chip, and lie. It's true. It's all true. We're being yanked around by these damn nuns. Sam Haddam says, you probably get this a lot, but I love your overlay. Always love the retro look. Well, thank you very much. We have quite a few overlays, and they're great. Big fan of them. It's just not fair. Why would God let this happen? I feel so helpless all the time. I don't know, Magda. We cannot foresee the Lord's plan or will. Perhaps this is his way of letting you work on the mural. Whatever it is, he will turn it to good. He says beyond time itself, but we are constricted by the present. I have been around long enough to see his fruits, even when I thought the devil had burned the fields. Keep faith, Magdalene. Thank you, sister. Your words warm my heart. God bless you, sister. God bless you, Magdalene. Interesting. Where else do we have to go? We saw this mural. Is there another one this way? Here's the aquarium. Some of the Abbey's visitors come in here, but aren't allowed to enter. We aren't allowed to go to the outside world either. Like Mother Francisca said, isolation is part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into town sometimes and even talk to men on occasion. And I'm stuck here staring at these walls for the rest of my life. Are you unhappy here, Sister Suzanne? Or you didn't always want to be a poor Clare, sister? Ha! No, who would want to be a nun? My father promised me to the church as a baby. Some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy. There I was, dropped into the poor Clares the summer I turned 17. I'm so sorry. No one should be forced into a life they don't want. We daughters are born to bear our family's legacy. Between our legs or on our backs, it doesn't matter. My family is devoted to the church. I've only been in the convent for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, but I'm sure of my devotion to the Lord. But this isn't what I wanted. Since when did a woman ever get what she wanted without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. I understand. I still have more autonomy to go where I want, but I'm still bound by the expectations of marriage and homemaking. Oh, I remember the days of running around town. I wish I could have gotten married. I wanted to be a mother. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude and even Sister Margaret. At least they got to see something of the outside world before they were 20. You could do anything else, what would it be? I would have liked to go to one of the big cities at least once. Would have been happy to just be a shopkeeper's wife. Ah, thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Lead on. Well, you've seen the entire convent. There's not much here. What do you think of it? Be honest, it seems like a life of drudgery. Yes, certain parts of our life here can be frustrating. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from the outside of the convent. I'm still reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters. I think you should go. You never chose this life. You deserve to have the life you truly want. Hell yeah, we finally got this, our second success in the whole fucking game. I didn't realize it was gonna be a quest for this, but it's what it's been building up to the whole friggin' time. Magdalene, I think you're right. My family's devotion doesn't have to be mine. Maybe I can find a way out in time. I'll help however I can, Suzanne. I'm sure we have some spare provisions at home. Really? That would be wonderful, so long as no one found out. Anyway, we should return to Mother Franziska before she suspects something. Learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. No, thank you, Magdalene. Today's been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Come, let's find Mother Franziska. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us, sister? Well, I hadn't thought about my holy duty of providing children to a husband, and I just can't give that up too soon. Motherhood is a divine blessing, Magdalene. Be careful with your sarcasm. Don't know what you're talking about. I think you do, young lady. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. I will pray that you find your way, Magdalene. God bless you. Get wrecked. Just get dunked on. Magdalene, how did your little expedition go? I learned a lot from seeing the Abbey. I have a good idea of what I'll depict in the mural now. But sister, there's something I don't understand. The Abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? What a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing and moved on. In truth, the abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kiersau was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire were simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared to forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside other than charred wood and parchment. It still might be worth taking a look, if I'm careful. I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene, I really do. Thank you for all your help, Sister Gertrude. You're most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Oh, damn, time skip again. Okay. Oh, it's just a little bit. All right, so we have the monastery next.